Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello, Facebook ads people. This is my second podcast. I really enjoyed making the first one, so I said, okay, I'm going to continue doing it, and you will have to bear with me, and I hope that you're going to like them as much as I like creating them. So, for this week, I have several topics that I want to discuss. First of all, as a recap for this week, I must say that it wasn't an exciting week. The only things that we see is that the CPMs are rising a little bit slowly in the United States. To my surprise, United Kingdom is doing very well on Facebook ads. On several accounts, I'm managing to scale to higher numbers and stuff. I don't know. Maybe United Kingdom is more conservative when it comes to Black Friday and when they're going to start their offers. I can see that I'm having much better results. I can see that I'm having much better conversion rates. I can see that I have the same CPMs. So everything is going well there. On United States, which is being heavily advertised, I truly believe that slowly we are starting to have a little bit of Black Friday taste. And most probably where it's going to get worse until we have the last week, which is going to get even better because the supply and demand is going to be in our favor and we're going to make a lot of money. So, as I said in the previous podcast, I believe that this Black Friday is going to be a good Black Friday. This is what I can see from the CPMs and everything. But it's a little bit difficult. In my previous strategy, I mentioned also that even if you're losing some money now in the process, because you're scaling and you're doing more ads, it's totally fine because you're going to be compensated for that later in the week of Black Friday. And you're going to enter stronger with higher budgets and with lower CPMs, starting point CPM on your campaigns to the Black Friday period. So don't worry of doing that. Now, let's go to our topics. First of all, I would like to discuss a little bit about banned accounts. Banned accounts is a topic that a lot of times, I'm really hesitant on creating videos on YouTube because below there's going to be desperate people that are going to think that I'm apparently someone who is super connected with Facebook and I can unban their ad accounts. This is not the case, I must tell you. The other thing is that there are a lot of people that they are going to try to take advantage of people, and I will have to ban a lot of people below in the comment section. The problem is that I have no magical solutions when it comes to banned accounts. The only videos that I have, which is, I believe it's 3 videos about it, I'm explaining that these are the things that I would have done if I was in your position, which I hope that I will never be, because even for myself, I think that it's going to be very difficult to get my account back because of the absence of customer support and of what is happening with and how people that they're banned, they're being treated. There are cases that there are people that they are stuck in a loop of, for example, identity. Okay, they ask you for your identity, but your ad account is banned, so you cannot file your identity, but whenever you're trying to appeal, they are asking you for your identity, so you're stuck in a loop and you're not able to do anything. And then you're trying to contact them outside and stuff. Apparently, there is a solution. One girl from OnlyFans found the solution. You can see a print screen here. She was able to get her account back by doing what she knows best to do, I guess. And she took it back. So good for her. It's actually something that worked. So sadly, if you don't have an OnlyFans, most probably, and you're banned for no reason, most probably you won't be able to get it back. Unless if you have the qualifications that she had. Now, let's move to the topic that irritates me most about that. I cannot do anything about your Facebook banned accounts. I'm getting messages all day about unban my account. I'm just saying contact customer support. If you cannot contact them, nobody can help you on that. But what I really don't like is people who try to take advantage of people that they are banned, and they're saying that there are some Instagram accounts which I'm apparently trying to block and stuff, and they keep sending messages to my comments on the YouTube channel, and I'm banning them again, and they come again. It's a process. I guess it's one of the bad things when you have a YouTube channel and you're trying to protect the community. The thing with that is when someone is telling you that they have a magical solution to get your account back, don't believe them, because there are people that they also send me messages and they say that after they had that, Facebook actually either they had more problems with Facebook or someone took their money and they lost everything. So now that we addressed that, let me tell you that when it comes to unbanned Facebook accounts, and this is the topic that we were discussing in the previous podcast, either Facebook is going to fix the customer support, or there are going to be several issues with ad accounts being flagged for no reason. Of course, we are having a lot of people who are trying to hack accounts, and this is causing the algorithm to actually flag some accounts. There are going to be some losses here and there from people that they haven't done anything. But Facebook is trying to have a second layer of protection for people not to get hacked and then their accounts being used for false advertisement. So this is why some of you, you are going to be banned for no reason. And the other thing that I want to say is that if you are banned for a reason and you know it, don't try to persuade yourself that you haven't done anything, so you're telling a lie again and again and again, and then eventually you're believing the lie and you're telling to everyone that you got banned for no reason. Because I have realized after some point by talking to people that there are some people that they actually got banned and they deserved it, and then they were trying to get their account back and so on. That's all I had about the banned accounts. I don't want to go more into this topic. I just want to say to all the people, don't fall for the lies of people that they tell you that they will give you your ad account back. I guess unless if you're having the qualifications of the OnlyFans girl. Now, the other day I was watching a little bit about Elon Musk and Twitter, and the whole point of Elon Musk and what he's trying to do on Twitter is that he's trying to actually take Twitter and remove all the fake accounts from it, so that when somebody is posting something, you know who is it. I'm thinking here loudly that there are a lot of times that I'm tempted to write a comment because I'm in a bad mood, because I want to be toxic, who knows, okay? And I'm not doing it because all of my profiles have my name. So I'm guessing that if all the profiles have the actual names, nobody is going to be that aggressive, or maybe if they're aggressive, they will take full responsibility with their own name. So thing number one is that as a person who goes out with my name and my personal info, and I say what I have to say about Facebook or whatever, and I'm ready to face any consequences, I want all the social media to work like this without fake accounts. Because the problem here is that we are having all of this cancellation movement that is happening. And I'm not going to talk about Andrew Tate or other people that they got cancelled and stuff. Not because I'm afraid to express my opinion about Andrew Tate. I'm actually married. If I hated women, I wouldn't be married or anything. I'm just feeling like we live in a political correctness period, and whatever is happening right now on the social media is just it's just our community being represented also there. There are several cases, for example, that I remember a story of an AI being introduced inside the Twitter platform, and it was actually replying to users, and because of how the users were replying and training the AI to reply also, the AI became toxic and started cursing and becoming toxic and becoming ironic and stuff, so they shut it down. So my problem is not for the people to express their opinion freely. I truly believe that nobody should be cancelled or not be. For example, Donald Trump should have his account back immediately. Okay? Do I like Donald Trump? No. But he should be able to express his opinion. My problem is when fake accounts are expressing their opinion. And I think that if we have this on Twitter and we are having actual accounts that they're going to express their opinion about the different things that they want to say, even if someone is saying, let's kill all the lions in the world because they don't like lions for some reason, or even if someone says, let's kill all the animals in the world, it's his opinion and he can express it. Okay? As long as this opinion comes with a real name and someone who can face the consequences of the other people criticizing him or whatever. My problem is with fake accounts. If the fake accounts are going to be fixed, then I don't have a problem with everybody expressing their opinion without being cancelled. So the big dilemma here is this. Who is going to make a platform that is going to have everyone there with their own names and with a very good identification process? The same way that Elon Musk did it with PayPal, maybe he can do it with Twitter. And why am I saying all of that in a Facebook podcast? Because I believe this is also a problem for Facebook and Instagram. We are having so many fake accounts that we are not believing anymore who is who inside, okay? And is this a problem? Yes, it is a problem. Because I have a video also in YouTube that I'm targeting, let's say, 50 million people. And I can see, because I had a very big credit from Facebook, that when I was targeting with a very big amount of money, it was targeting maybe, I believe the audience was 120 million maybe. And after 5 months of spending 1 million or something, it was actually targeting 10 million people only with a frequency of 6-7. So my understanding out of that, and by being able to spend $1 million in one ad set, which by the way, it's what Facebook was proposing and it was their credit. This is why I did it like this. If I had the option, I would have spent it in a much different way. But let's say that this was the case at that point. This is why I did it like this. So my point is that how many fake accounts do we have here in order for Facebook, when I'm targeting with $1 million in 3 months period, an audience of 130 million people, targeting only 10 million. And the problem is this also, that if we are having all of these accounts that are fake, and then we are having a stock from Facebook that is only rising when new users are coming in. This is why Mark Zuckerberg is also going to third world countries, and he is trying to actually make them use internet, because he knows that if they use internet, they are going to use the social media. I'm not saying, look, even if the guy is having all of the urge to get more money out of this action, it's still good, okay? And nobody is doing anything for someone else without expecting something, okay? This is how the capitalism works. But at the end of the day, he's helping so many countries because the only thing that is making the stock of Facebook rising is the new users that they are joining the platform. And I cannot believe that in all of these years, all of these users, which is an enormous number, it's something like, I don't remember the number, guys, sorry, that I haven't done my homework for that. But if we say that 70-80% of the population is using Facebook, I believe that this is a huge lie, okay? And for example, in my country, Greece, my country has a population of 12 million people, okay? And if you go to the potential reach, most probably you will see 8 million or 7 million being inside the Facebook platform. My mother made Facebook 1 year ago, okay? And I can tell you that in the age of my mother, there are people that they have been making Facebook in the last years. They haven't been to the Facebook platform. So we were having a lot of fake accounts. This is what I'm actually realizing out of that. So my problem is this: can we make a platform which is actually going to be, I'm seeing 50 million people, I know that I can target 50 million people. Because right now, also on Facebook, the problem is that most probably when we're seeing 120 million people, we have to divide that with 3 or 4 in order for us to be able to have the actual number of the people that we are actually targeting. So I think it's a good thing that Elon is doing that. Maybe if he succeeds, in a way of actually achieving it. Maybe we're going to be able to see also actual numbers on the Facebook platform, and maybe this thing with the stock of Facebook going down all the time, it's going to stop, and we're going to have a new agenda with actual real accounts and accounts that they can actually say their opinion, but face also the consequences instead of being hidden under the anonymity. Now that that we talked about that, I want to talk a little bit about one thing that made me extremely happy this week. I was working with a guy who is a very good friend, actually, and I was working in his brand for the past 2 years. We started together, okay, the brand, and we scaled together and everything. At some point, he realized that he wanted to go into an agency for his own reasons. This happened 1 month ago. And he wanted to go in an agency, because the agencies talk too much and they say too many things about how good they are and everything. My problem with the agencies is that you're having a lack of communication, first of all. It's not okay when we're talking about Facebook ads that they need a constant work, even on weekends and everything, to have someone close you as a deal and then have someone else manage your ads and then you go to these corporate meetings and stuff. No, in my opinion, Facebook ads is one-on-one. This is why I'm having limited customers, for example, and I'm taking only bigger clients and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a one-on-one communication, and you need to have a very close relationship with the one that you are managing his Facebook ads. Because if it's not, it's becoming something like a routine or something like it's going to be neglected or anything, and Facebook ads are not to be neglected. So what happened is that I had this account in some specific, the truth is that the company was on 1.8 ROAS break even. I was making 2.5 with higher spends like 150K, 200K. He wanted to scale, which I understand it, but I was always telling to him what I tell also here, that if you want to scale, it's not only the strategies, but we have to go also to the creative side. He has a creative director, he has a very good brand, and the problem is that he didn't have the time and the bandwidth to do creative, so he said, okay, let's go to an agency to do more creatives. Now, what happened in 1 month? And this is why I want to focus in some things. First of all, my ego is in a very good state right now because they completely failed. They had 0.5 ROAS. They shut down all of my campaigns trying to consolidate. They were trying to follow Facebook by the book on what it's doing, but we all know that if you do that, it's a lost cause. And a lot of times, and I know that he paid a lot of money for this agency also. A lot of times, when we talk about these agencies that they have the credibility and everything, and you say, oh my God, this is a big agency stuff, we need to understand also with who are these agencies working to. Because if you're working with a very big brand that's already established, whatever you're going to do there is going to work. If you're working with a medium brand and you want to scale it, it's a big challenge. And if you are working with a startup, of course, the numbers and the product of the startup has to help, and your strategies also need to help on top of that. Now, my thing is that when you are having an agency that it's actually working with very big brands, they tend to go away from the reality that a medium brand is having. Because in a big brand, whatever you're going to do is going to work. Even the consolidation strategy, whatever, is going to work. So it's okay. But when you're having some strategies into your mind and you go into a new account and you try immediately to push this agenda to this new account, I don't think that this is okay. Because the whole philosophy that I have in my YouTube channel is this. I'm showing you all of these different strategies, crazy method, simple method, which I don't use in many accounts, but in some accounts is working. And it's also consolidating method. Then we are having the blender method. We are having the high society lookalikes. All of these different methods, the crazy method, which goes with every stack lookalikes. All of these different methods that I have, it's not for you to use all of them. It's for you to test all of them in your accounts and be able to see what is working for you and what doesn't. Maybe dynamic ads are not going to work with you. I mentioned in one of my videos that I have seen one ad account that it was running with lifetime budget. What did I do? I tried, of course, to run it without lifetime budget, but it wasn't working. So I said, okay, if this ad account is trained to run with lifetime budget, I'm going to run it also with lifetime budget. I shouldn't put my ego in front and say that I'm going to use my own strategy no matter what. So this is what they try to do. They try to do ABO campaigns with testing, which I'm going to go into this topic in a little bit. And they spend something like 25K by testing and having 0.5 ROAS. And my question is, when are you going to make this money back? How are you going to compensate the company for all of this testing that you are doing? Because in theory, you might be saying, let's test. And then I think that he replied to the owner that, yes, we are testing so much, but I think that we're not testing aggressively. I think that we should test with 250 per day in order to pass the learning phase and everything. I'm having actually a lot of things here that I'm throwing that I want to discuss separately. So just let's jump at the start of this again. If you're going to a new ad account, there is no point for you to try to implement all the strategies that are working in your second or third ad account that are working very well. Try to see what they were doing in the past. Try to understand what this ad account is and how it's working. In the ad account that I was working with the lifetime budget, did I like it? No, but it was working. There was another ad account that only instant experiences were working and not dynamic ads. I was doing instant experiences with all of my other methods. Adapting to the situation and to whatever works on the ad account is very crucial instead of pushing your own agenda. So, thing number one. Thing number two, because you're working with a brand that is doing 500K or 600K spending per month and they can afford of spending 25K just for testing, it doesn't mean that all the other brands can do it. Just adjust your strategy in a brand that it's, or don't take smaller brands if your strategy works only in that framework. So just being a crazy scientist and going into another account, closing all the ads that they're doing well anyway, and then going into the situation that you are going to have your own ABO campaign just for testing, and then the next month you're going to test. It looks to me like an agency that is trying to win time to go into a 3 months contract. And then I'm seeing things like, for example, Advantage Plus at that point was working on the account. Okay, you're doing your testing. Do also something else. Do also some Advantage Plus in order to compensate some of the loss. The reply was that Advantage Plus is taking sales out of the retargeting also, which is true. Yes, you're not excluding any audience there. And that for this reason should run. So for me, I just see a very big ego and think like all of these things are working in this brand, for example. Shut the up and let's try to see if it's going to work for you. Well, I think that this is wrong. Now, another thing is the testing. A lot of times in my videos, I'm against testing because of that. Because there are people that they're just focusing on testing and they're losing the point that in order for us to continue getting paid, we need to not only test, but to also have results. What is it going to happen if you are having 0 results with your testing? Are you going to continue testing until someone fires you? No, you need to also do what I like to do with dynamic ads so that you can test and you can have sales at the same time. There is no point for you to just test and just throw all of this amount of money just with the hope of finding this super creative. And who tells you that this super creative is going to work? Then you're not testing it in an efficient way for me because you're not testing it with crazy method. You're not testing it in a CBO campaign to compete with others. You're just testing one ABO, which is just a small hot pocket from the whole audience that you are targeting. So you are also pointing a little bit in the lack of finding the right hot pocket there. This is not efficient testing for me. When you are having a whole audience of 50, 60, 70 million people, and you're just doing one ad set, even if when you put a very big budget to it, I think that the random initial sale is going to dictate how the hot pocket is going to be created. If you're unlucky and your first sale is not going to be a very strong one with strong characteristics for the ideal avatar of the next people that they are going to buy the product, then you're f***ed. And the problem is that when you're not doing, I think, my way of testing and having sales at the same time with dynamic ads, or Advantage Plus is another good way now, you are just missing so many hot pockets that you're just going in. It's like you're going to the casino trying to find what is going to work or not. And yes, I understand the concept of using very big budgets in order for you to test efficiently. But let me tell you, first of all, that not all companies can do it. And secondly, the idea that when you pass the learning phase, the ad set is going to be better and stuff, it's a idea. I have so many campaigns that I showed in my YouTube videos and in my ad accounts that I see always ad sets passing the learning phase and ad sets not passing the learning phase. The difference is there are no differences actually, okay? And I cannot see any difference to passing the learning phase or not passing. I understand the concept. I don't think that it's that powerful yet, maybe. Maybe it's going to become more powerful, but right now it's not. And this is why I'm also against consolidation, because if passing the learning phase was going to be something that was going to be extremely good and it was going to give very good results comparing to ad sets that are not passing the learning phase, then I believe that the whole community of doing Facebook ads would do consolidated ads in order to pass the learning phase. Now, nobody's consolidating the ads because the difference between the ad set that passes the learning phase and the one that doesn't is nothing, okay? Ad sets that they don't pass the learning phase, they can work equally well and sometimes even better, okay? Or worse than the others, it doesn't matter. The difference is very small. With others that they just pass the learning phase and you're just having just one ad set with so much effort and, so much risk. Because if you lose this one, you're losing everything. With Crazy Method and everything else, you're just having so many substitutes into your CBO campaign in order for you to be able to substitute or replace one ad set when it's not working with another one. Last thing, I was seeing this test, for example, and okay, you want to test, you want to use big budgets and stuff. The test was running for 10 days. $150 budget in an ABO campaign for one ad set. And this test was running for, let's say, 10 days straight, which is even 7 would make sense because it is the attribution model of 7 days, okay, the conversion window. But 10 days looks to me like it was a neglected thing. And I'm not saying all of that because the owner is going to watch the podcast. Most probably he doesn't know that I have a podcast because we don't talk about my YouTube and stuff. It's just a relationship about Facebook ads. I'm just saying all of that so that if some of you are working with agencies and stuff, you need to protect yourself. The problem with agencies and with people that are talking about Facebook ads is that we're not studying in a university about that. So our whole experience comes from accounts or from lies that somebody is saying or from whatever Facebook is saying. And guess what? Whatever Facebook is saying is wrong, like 90% is wrong, not wrong, is hidden inside a thread of truth, but it's not working. Because they're trying to push you to do things that they're going to make you spend more money so that you are going to get less results and some are going to get good results so that they can continue spending. So it's all about them being able to sell you to ideas that they're going to spend you more, but not necessarily you're going to make more. The second thing is that we are having people that they haven't studied it. Is a university the solution? No, but university would lend people a correct way of thinking about it, okay? And the other thing is that there are people that they have knowledge by just spending. You don't know, and you need people that they have worked in several ad accounts in order for you to be able to have someone that you can trust and that has knowledge with the platform. Whatever I'm saying in my channel, it comes from testing and from what I'm observing on the platform. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm having the wrong accounts and I'm telling you stupid things. But to be honest with you, by working with more and more people that they had bad experiences with agencies and everything, or freelancers with false credibility, I can tell you that most probably I'm right. And the other thing that I have to say is that there are a lot of people that they have YouTube channels and stuff, and I don't really like to do this discredit, but it's the truth. They have YouTube channels, but I can understand by the way that they talk and they do Facebook ads and stuff that they don't do their Facebook ads. They're just a person of the company that is just representing and is just trying to sell a service or something. And most of the times this is wrong, because when somebody is not doing Facebook ads, they are just very good at theory, but they are not very good. But the things that they are proposing, it means that they have not been tested. For example, if I'm proposing to you to not raise your budgets into one ad set, but instead duplicate it and do something else, I'm doing it because I have already done it several times. I have failed. I have been to the difficult position of explaining my failure to the customer. And then I came to you and I tell you, hey guys, don't do it because this is working better. Why? Because if I wasn't going to find a solution, my customer was going to fire me. So I'm coming from a position that I'm trying to find solutions that they're going to help me survive. The other situation is that we're having people that they're just telling things without any consequences because they can sleep at the nights, because they don't manage ad accounts, because the life of someone who is managing ad accounts is this. Let me explain to you. You might have 40 ad accounts. I'm having 32 now. 32 ad accounts. 31 are having crazy good ROAS. And one, it's not working very well. You are not able to sleep at the night. It's a very problematic situation for you, super stressful, and you're not feeling well. Because having one bad ad account, it's like you're having problem with all of your ad accounts. Okay, so when we are talking about situations like do this or that, you need to follow people that you can understand that they can show you live ad accounts, they can show you that they know, they can show you that they are actually managing accounts. And the last thing that I mentioned before is when you are having people that they are just managing big accounts, for example, very famous people, they manage big accounts, and it's good for them. It's good for them, and well done, and it's okay. When you're managing the account of Coca-Cola, of Dolce & Gabbana and stuff, you don't know how to run Facebook ads, because whatever you're going to do in these accounts, it's going to work anyway. The marketing that these companies is having, if you fail, okay. If you fail, you have to I believe, okay? But you have to commit okay? If you fail in a Dolce & Gabbana account and stuff to have sales. The point is that these companies are spending so much money into billboards, into buses, into having stores in all of these places that the amount of marketing is so big that it's covering all the exposure that you need and all the social proof. So people are going to buy anyway organically and stuff. So you're going to have good results anyway. So for me, these people are also not people that you should spend an enormous amount of money to hire in order to tell you what to do. Because if they're working with just big companies, then they don't know how it is for a medium-sized company or maybe for a startup. Now, based on that, I would like to say also another thing, which is I was watching the other day another video from a very famous YouTuber about Facebook ads, which my opinion is that he's not managing accounts. I think that he's very good for beginners, but I think that when it comes to very difficult topics, he doesn't know anything. And I have met the guy in the past, I know him. Of course, I'm not going to tell his name, but he was having a video. It was actually a short video that he was mentioning about not duplicating your ad sets and just scaling with 20%. Let me tell you the concept behind that. The concept behind that is coming from Facebook, and Facebook is saying this, that, hey, if you are having an ad set which is working very well, you can scale it by 20% so that you cannot go out of the learning phase. Because if you increase it more than that, you're going out of the learning phase. The thing is that this is true. I have tested it. When you're scaling, let me drink some. When you're scaling one ad set with 20% at a time, you can increase it like this, and you can go to higher numbers without getting out of the learning phase. This theory is correct. Now, he likes this way. He said that he likes this way instead of duplicating and starting your ad set from a higher point. I'm going to go into the technical of this in a little bit. What really confuses me is this. I'm a person that I don't like the strategy, but I'm watching the comments behind that, and he's a very famous on YouTube. He's having a lot of people, and I know that a lot of people that talk to me, they also said that when I was beginning, this is the guy that helped me. Then I came to your channel for the super extra advanced technical details, but in the beginning, this guy was having beginner content, and I know that in my YouTube channel I don't have beginner content because I'm bored of doing it. So the situation is that I was watching all the comments, and people below, they were saying, amazing, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And there were no people, did I put a comment to challenge it? No, of course not. But there were no people below that they were saying that, hey, this is wrong and stuff. And I will explain a little bit why I believe it's wrong. Everybody is sharing, everybody here in this field, we are sharing our experiences. And this is what we do, and you just have to test it and see what is working in your account or not. Okay, I accept that. But on the other hand, there are some technical things that we need to address in order for people to take better decisions. Just saying this without analyzing technically, it's not okay. And your technical thing is that you're saying that, okay, 20% you're not getting out of learning phase. Learning phase is important. Konstantinos is saying that learning phase is not important. So we have already a difference here. Let me tell you also another thing, though, that I believe that it's very crucial for that. Before I say that, I want to say that what I realized with Facebook is that if you are there and you are giving free content and you're giving free knowledge, the people are not toxic. They are not toxic at all because they understand that you are giving them value. So that brings us another problem, though. The other problem is that when somebody brings his knowledge and his ideas and stuff, which they are not necessarily correct, okay, but this is his own ideas, and someone is doing this for free, there are a lot of people that they are supporting this, and this is, of course, okay, but this is not filtering the bad information from the good information. And this is a huge gap over there because you're seeing all these comments and you're saying, okay, all of these people are approving it. Let's do it. Anyway, this is a thought that I had. Now, let me tell you why I think that it's wrong to keep the same asset and scaling it. First of all, it's too risky. From my personal experience again, and I'm using the word personal experience because, okay, I have videos that I'm proving it also, but you cannot prove it and just be certain 100%. When you're scaling one asset, you're pushing it to find more people. What does an asset do? Let's analyze it from the beginning. When you're having an asset, the asset first is going to have a random sale. So this random sale, if you're targeting 50 million people in a pool, it's going to create just a hot spot over there. It's going to be Konstantinos or someone else. You're going to have a hotspot, and this hotspot, based on the person that has converted, it's going to start creating a hot pocket within the big niche that you are targeting. Now, the initial sale is random, and this is completely random to get a hot pocket. If the hot pocket is strong and your initial sale was a good sale with someone who has very good characteristics and entry points and interest points for Facebook to find more people based on that. For example, let's say that I'm buying this microphone over here because I want to do the podcast. And then Facebook says, okay, Konstantinos is from Greece. He likes to drink Coke. He likes these wooden pieces. He likes this, he likes that, he likes that. And because of all of the things that I like, Facebook is finding similar people like me who maybe they want to do also podcast. Okay, so this is the entry point, and this is how a hot pocket is being created. Now, if this hot pocket is not strong enough, the more you scale, the more Facebook is going to try to find other people outside of this hot pocket in order to create a second hot pocket somewhere. So when this hot pocket is strong, scaling by 20% is going to help you, and this is why you can see that there are some times that you are scaling with 20% that is working. But if the hot pocket is not strong enough, and eventually is not going to be strong enough, because Facebook is going to, whenever you're increasing the budget, it's going to target more people, which means that it's going to try to form more hot pockets, unless if it has enough people in this hot pocket in order to target, and you then are able to scale, and actually Facebook is not losing ROAS. So when you're increasing your budget, Facebook is trying to find other hot pockets within the big audience. Do we want that? No. In my opinion, no. If we have several ad sets that they're spending smaller amounts of money, but at the end of the day, all of them as a sum make the amount of money that we want to spend, let them spend in smaller hot pockets without disturbing this balance, and my whole sum is going to make the money that I want to spend. I'm still spending in the same niche, but I'm spending in different hot pockets and without disturbing them because I don't know how strong they are or not. We don't have this kind of data. I wish we had the data of saying that, hey, the pool that you're targeting over here is strong enough for you to scale. We don't know that. So it's a gamble at that point for you to do it. What is not gamble? For you to do crazy method, for example, with a CBO campaign and actually having several hot pockets, removing the ones that they don't work, keep the ones that they work because you have the indication, and then try to scale with another campaign targeting other hot pockets and stuff. So my whole strategy is how you're going to pile up different campaigns or different campaigns with different creatives or different campaigns with different methods so that you can target all of these different hot pockets with different entry points or different methods like lookalikes and stuff so that you will be able to create a lot of small hot pockets instead of having just a targeting or an entry point to just one or two of the hot pockets. These are very general examples for you to understand how it's working. So my point is this: when you are having a hot pocket and you are increasing the budget, Facebook is trying to create another hot pocket. And the other thing that I don't like with this method, and so let's say that you're starting with something like you are spending $20, okay, or $30. The Facebook ads are working like a bell. Okay, so you're having a bell. So the more you're spending, the more you're earning, but there is a soft spot in the top of the bell that if you go up from the bell, most probably your ads are going to drop. So what you're trying to do when you're playing in an ABO campaign is you're trying to find this hot spot. Okay, and you're going to try to increase by 20%, trying to get to the peak, but not above it, because above it you're going to start losing ROAS. The point is that a lot of times when you are going above that point, you're starting losing ROAS, then you have to decrease it and find the hot spot again, the hot pocket again. No, the soft point. The soft point again. And this is the point that you are trying to be again in a balance and not spending more than what you should spend. But a lot of times, these ad sets are actually failing. There is a 20-30% of the ad sets that when you are scaling and then something is not working, you're going back, that they're going to recover and they're going to stay there and you should not scale them after that point. But 70% of them, it's going to actually fail after that point and you will never be able to recover it. What does this mean? That you will have to start all over again climbing on that scaling. So my point is this: instead of you having one ad set which you are going to scale because you found it's working or whatever, why don't you duplicate it, keep your one ad set that is actually working so that you can keep it over there as a strong base, and then try to scale with a bigger one. Also, another thing is that imagine that you're having an ad set with 20, 30 at the start that is working, okay? If you scale it to 60, if you scale it to 90, this is 100 or 200% increase. It's too much for Facebook, okay? But if you have an ad set with 20, 30, and then you start it with 100, then you have already starting something that's going to create another hot pocket, which is going to be stronger to support the 100. And then if you scale it to 200, then it's a 100% raise, but you have already go to 200. In order for you to go from 20 to 200, you need to do a raise of 1000%. So the difficulty here is also on the starting point. We are not duplicating only ad sets just to have volume, but we're duplicating ad sets so that we can start them from higher points, from higher spends. And of course, for me, one of the most decisive factors is the risk. I don't believe that having just one ad set, it's something that is going to help you in the long term, because when you are going to lose it, it's going to be, maybe you are lucky and you are going to find another one immediately, but if you are not that lucky and your account is not super strong, I think it's going to be problematic. So this is why I have developed the crazy method and the way that we do CBO campaigns together, and the way that we are not scaling the campaigns, but we are stacking up the different campaigns with each other. So this was another topic that I want to cover. How much time do we have? 45? Okay, let's make it 1 hour then. So we discussed about the bank accounts. Okay, we discussed about that. Okay, we covered enough things. Okay. Okay, I want to point one last thing. No, I'm going to point it on another one. Let's go to my print screens now. So I have a question here from one of my friends in my group. It says, "Hi, I have a new pixel and had some great initial results with 2 ROAS in a CBO campaign for 1 week, but it died really fast. So I kept relaunching every day," which is actually why I put it, because it goes well with the previous topic. Which is actually worked good for some days, but now it doesn't anymore, and cost per click is rising extremely in the last 2 days. What would you recommend? So his name is Manuel. So Manuel, I hope you're watching the podcast, but anyway, thing number one, when you're having a new pixel and you're finding some good initial results, it doesn't mean that the results are going to stay for a long period. Your new pixel is just a small baby, and it needs a long time in order for it to be able to, produce results. But even when it has results, the campaign is not going to stay for a long period. That being said, you need to actually go and do the campaign again and again, relaunch it. My relaunching method, it's not about you doing this again and again and again forever. It's just a temporary solution, because the more you relaunch an ad, the more you are going to have lesser results, lesser. So of course, the stronger the pixel, the longer this process is going to take. But the relaunch is just a temporary solution. So what you're doing is, I'm having something that is working based on what we said earlier about hot pockets. I'm going to try to find the same hot pockets or different hot pockets, because I know that this creative and this targeting is working. So relaunching is just a solution that is going to give you some weeks or months of breathing time in order for you to test at the same time and find something else that's going to work. And when this is going to die, relaunch again. The whole concept of relaunching is that if something is working, you should not abandon it that easily. You should go and you should relaunch it, because most probably there is more money that can be made with this ad set. Now, let's go to another thing. Okay, so there is an API app which I have seen in Shopify. I believe that the name was Ority Facebook Pixels Meta. I think, guys, and I'm not affiliated with it or whatever, but I think that it has helped me produce better not results, better reporting back to Facebook for optimization. In the next podcast, I promise you that we're going to cover the topic of triple whale and Hyros and everything, because it's a big topic and I want to cover it there. But if you are struggling a little bit with your reporting, I think you should try to use this app. It helped me in some accounts. And then I'm seeing a comment over here, because I was watching the reviews over there. It says, they are building Facebook Pixels Conversion API. I've checked their Facebook page and found that 18 people like this, and 70 people follow this. I told them, looks like a scam on chat. They replied, hope you will find the right application. I don't recommend this app to anyone. What did you expect to tell you? It was a startup. What did you expect to tell you? Did you expect to tell you that, yes, we're a scam? Did you expect to tell you, sorry that we have 18 likes? Sometimes I don't understand people putting this kind of comments over there. And I feel that, to be honest with you, well done to Ority. I think that they replied super politely to this guy. And then another pre-screen that I have seen lately that I want to focus is that A lot of times when you're optimizing a CPO campaign and you are seeing your ad sets over there, you might be able to see that there's a message coming out that says pausing because of a higher CPA. I'm putting the print screen and says even though this ad set cost per result is higher right now, over time your overall campaign CPA is likely to be lower if you keep this ad set running. So there is this message that comes out when you're doing CPO optimization, especially if you follow my methods, you will see it eventually. Let me tell you that I have tested of leaving this ad set, and 99% of the cases, the results were not better. So when you see this message, just ignore it, okay? And the last thing that I want to say is about Shopify audiences. We know that Shopify has its own audiences, which is a good thing because we're going to have, of course, you need to have Shopify Plus, which is expensive and stuff. But Shopify audiences are now available with Google. And I think that they say that advertising costs are becoming higher and higher, and Shopify audiences are becoming better and better. If you're using Shopify Plus, I have tested Shopify audiences. I can tell you that they work in several cases. So you should test them again if you have Shopify Plus, and that's it. Last thing, one of my freelancer diaries shows, and we're going to wrap this up. So it says Facebook ads, and then read carefully and don't waste our time. Our company is looking for someone who can help us to advertise our ClickBank product. We want to just run a Facebook campaign of $1 a day for a month and hope we can get some sales. We don't have a Facebook account, so the freelancer must have its own Facebook ad account to run the campaigns. We pay at the end of the project for the $10 and the $30. So, first of all, $1 per day. I believe that this is a joke, okay? There is no way that you can run ads with $1 per day. But I want you to see the very clever point here. They say that they're going to pay at the end for you using your ad account the $10 and the $30, which is $40. And the thing here is this. If they manage to convince 50 people of doing that, they are not paying anyone at the end, and they're just taking everything, okay? It's a master plan, guys. It's a master plan. I cannot believe how clever are some people, okay? And the reason that they are putting $1, I believe, is because they want to convince people with $1. They want to have people that everybody has $40. They don't care about the amount of money that they're going to be spent. This is a whole scheme of dumping all of the people that they are going to spend their money and not paying them. And the reason that they're putting $1, which for some might look like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They're putting $1 because they want to have as many people as they can, because not a lot of people are going to spend $300 like this, but $40, someone says, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get $10 in the process, especially in the third world countries and stuff that $10 maybe they're going to mean a lot. I guess that's all I had. The next time we're going to cover for sure the topic of Triple Whale and Hyros. I hope that whatever I said today made sense, because to be honest with you, I don't remember what I said for the past 50 minutes. I hope it made sense. I hope that I'm not going to look like a schizophrenic dipolar guy who's talking on its own in the camera. And don't forget, guys, that if you want to learn more, you can check my book or my free course. And until we meet again, be creative and be consistent. And I will see you in my next podcast. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.